J.T. Last won the Morris Rickards Award. We think we're going to check in 2004.
Yeah.
Mostly I remember that everyone in the Ephemera Society was celebrating his book, The Color Revolution. We were all so thrilled. We knew it was coming, and all of us have used it as a great tool ever since. Jay, what inspired you to devote so much of your time and energy to that particular book?
Yeah, well, when I moved to Southern California about 1970, I got very interested in the local ephemera, which was orange crate labels. And with my friend Gordon McClellan, we ended up writing a book about these labels. And one thing we included there was the lithographic process that was used to make the stone lithos. And that intrigued me with the process, and I litho process, so I looked for the standard book on American lithography, and I realized there wasn't one. And I got intrigued. I thought I'll write a small book about that and the process, and I would start collecting some other ephemera relating to it. And so I started collecting it, and one thing led to another, where I realized that my initial purpose for collecting this was to learn who were the lithographers who were working in this field, and then I realized that the book that was needed was a lot more than that. That this lithographic process documented American social history, and which led me, from, instead of trying to get one item from as many different lithographers as I could, I got started what's turned out to be a large collection of all kinds of ephemera. So the start was just my curiosity about how the stone lithographic process worked.
Wonderful. I think I told you that I've just finished your book called African Art and Silicon Chips, which is the tale of your two major passions, your career in electronics and your passion for collecting African art. And there you describe that the layered process of lithography led you, or at least reminded you, both of the lithographic process and also that there were patterns in African art that were similarly layered, which was an interesting, that would tie together three aspects of your life.
Yeah.
There was something else that you said, that serial imaging was important when you were collecting art, that you realized that you didn't really appreciate something until you saw it in the context of all sorts of other things that were similar. And that's how you develop a feel for what's best, what's intriguing, what's different. And did you find the same thing in your collecting?
Oh, certainly. Sets of things and exist all over the place in ephemeral collecting. Trade cards is the classic example, and the serial image enabled you to see things that look superficially the same, but the slight differences enable you to look and see stuff you ordinarily wouldn't look at. Now that was a major effect in my life. Was realizing I was using the serial image concept before I realized what I was doing, but Jawlensky, seeing a Jawlensky show was the thing that made me realize that this was a very powerful tool for looking at any kind of art, was look at it in a serial form.
Very interesting. Most of your ephemera collection will go to the Huntington, I understand.
Yes.
And I've been honored to visit it a couple of times. And I understand that in addition to the collection being there and to your sponsoring a curator, that there are going to be fellowships offered to study ephemera within that collection?
We'll do that sometime down the road. My main interest is getting it over there and getting it cataloged, and the collection is being cataloged. A lot of it is online now, and when we put a new subject online, right away there's interest developing in it.
Lovely.
So that aspect is, I'm confident it's going to be well taken care of in the future.
Yes. I know too that, speaking of fellowships, that you've been supporting or helped support the visual, do they call it CHAVIC, the visual image study
Yes,
aspect at the American Antiquarian Society.
yes,
And they've done extraordinary work with fostering study.
yes. They're in with Gigi Barnhill. They've been the real pioneers, and the trend is now becoming more and more obvious that people are communicating graphically rather than by words,
Right.
and that's an accelerating thing.
And you recognized it early.
Well, a lot of the stuff I was doing it without really recognizing what I was doing. I was doing it because I really liked the stuff and working with it.
Right.
But I realize now it was a lot more important, and it'll be an increasing importance as the ephemera collectors collections have been put together, and when many of them well cataloged by now too.
Right. Thank you so much, Jay.
Yeah.